Welcome, folks. Welcome to the Esteban Hour. Thank you for joining us tonight on Election Day, or now Election Night. It has been a long day. I'm sure a lot of you folks out there think the same thing. The anxiety that has been swirling around everyone has been quite overwhelming, I would say. Well, we are at the end of that point of anxiety, although it's about ready to pop, don't you think? We don't know what's going to happen. Some polls have closed at 7 p.m. Others are closing now at 8 p.m. And we're going to see what the results are from a lot of these races that we have been talking about for days and weeks and months. But before we get into that, we'd like to introduce our guests of tonight's panel of Election Day, a special live directly to the audience today. And first, we'd like to bring to the panel is Disco Ball Miss Lindsay. How you doing?
Hi, good.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Is today your first time on the Esteban Hour?
Yes, my first time.
Well, welcome.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
and we hope that you come back.
Thank you.
And also, coming to the Caliente corner is Mr. Disco Brian himself. Hey,
Mm,
Brian, how you
it's
doing?
Disco and I are sleep deprived, as are you, Esteban.
I
So,
I am I don't even know if sleep deprived is the word.
mm,
It's just been a ridiculous day. Ridiculous day.
yes, indeed. I I like how you said it feels like it's gonna pop. Because
Poof.
poof, I can't take much more of this.
Me neither. Me neither.
So.
I know, it's just been like the music in the air all day long, the birds and everybody's talking about what's gonna happen. So
Crazy.
stressful.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like you think that every election that you go through is the biggest one or of all time, but the next one somehow seems to outdo the last one, right?
Well, I mean, thanks to Satan, Trump, we, that's kind of where we're at
We started
because
already.
I
I'm
remember,
with you.
I remember when Biden won on that Saturday and they called it uh disco ball. Miss Lindsay and I think we danced our way from
Yeah.
one end of Brooklyn to the other, just delighted with joy. I had family and friends calling from everywhere, just singing the praises of democracy. And little did we know that that was a nice little honeymoon that rapidly came to an end once January
Really?
6th happened, right? And then we realized, oh, the Trump phenomenon is still very much with us. So
Is it? Is it?
that's why it's not.
Right.
We can't go to sleep. You know?
Right. That
That's
was
for
all
sure,
through
right?
the Trump, like when Trump was president, you could never sleep. It was always like, what is Trump gonna say? What is he gonna do? What is he
Yes, and I guess we all figured that out, right? What he said and what he done.
gonna do?
Speaking of Trump,
Mm.
did y'all hear that he was supposed to announce that he was going to run last night at a rally?
Mm.
And I guess he listened to his comrades and decided not to, so that people could just focus on the
Mm-hmm.
election today, which was smart that he did not broadcast that. But I wish he would have, because that would have totally
That
made everybody
that's it.
vote blue.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
That's why he didn't
Right?
do it. That's why he didn't
Right.
do it, because we all know, had he done it, that would have been
Yes.
that would have lit the fuse for
Yes. Yes.
all the women who had the pink hats.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
To-
For real.
to take
Absolutely.
deeper
If
revenge.
they weren't
So,
already worried,
there you go.
they'd be even more
That would
worried.
be
Right.
even more of a they would fire people up even further. But yeah.
Right. Well, he's not really known for listening. I wish that last night was one of those moments that he didn't listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because then we would be having an even better day today.
I think you're right. I think
right.
I think these blue numbers that I'm seeing delightfully.
Tell us about them.
Well,
let's get started.
Let's do it. Looking like the Senate thus far. Let's talk about Georgia, my home state. Democrats. The Warnock is looking like he is up 12 points with 31% of the results in. So
what a beautiful thing. What
gorgeous,
a beautiful thing.
Gorgeous.
How many points? 12?
Up 12 points so far.
And how much of the vote is in?
31%.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
And that's all just what they're counting right now.
Right. And I was just about to say, you do understand that is votes from today. That still does not count pre-votes or mail-in ballots. So that's okay.
Yeah.
That's something to be.
Which are mostly Democrat, those mail-in ballots.
And the early voters,
and the early voters, yeah.
I mean, let's nothing is for sure, but it's looking real good.
But it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So I hear that so far the polling is telling us that 52% of women have voted and 48% of men have voted. So it's definitely true that the women are driving the vehicle. They're putting their foot on that gas, and they're saying, no, we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. Yeah. What do you think about that, Lindsay?
Well, it's a really big deal. I know in so many states, like losing women's rights to rights over their bodies, to have control over their bodies. I mean, this is a huge loss, huge potential loss, and it could get worse. So I think the fire is under everybody's ass to get out there and vote.
Absolutely. To get out there and do what you need to do to save your rights, right?
I mean, this is all ages too. Young, Gen Z to older women that have seen the days before we had the rights to have an abortion. Right.
I was just about to say, could you imagine that for your entire life you've had the choice to have an abortion if you wanted to, and now to know that your children and your grandchildren may not get that choice to say what they want done to their bodies. It's devastating.
Lindsay actually has the uterus to handle watching The Handmaid's Tale. I don't have the balls to watch it because it's too terrifying for me, and I don't know why she tortures herself watching it. But hey, for the sake of America, I hope.
Because life is torture as a woman anyway.
Anyway, and I hope
it's like camaraderie,
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you get to see how shitty life could be. Sorry, I'm cursing so much.
Right. No. Go ahead.
See, the ultimate dystopian world. I don't know. I'm interested in dystopian worlds. I don't know. Interesting.
I mean, it's mind-boggling just to know that we're where we're at right now. I mean, would anyone would have thought just a year ago?
That's it.
We would be where we're at right now.
No, that's it.
We would be fighting for what folks are fighting for right now.
But see, this is it, Pablo. It's when that's what I meant about the glee, that temporary honeymoon glee of dancing all across Brooklyn with and I mean there was a dance party on every block, throughout when Trump was defeated, and we all thought at that time, on that Saturday before January 6th happened, that, oh my God, the indelible stain of Satan is behind us. No. And to your point, Esteban, the die had been cast way back when Clarence Thomas became a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the first coup, the one that actually happened, the Supreme Court coup in 2000 when they decided that Bush was going to be our president. Remember that? And then
Yeah.
Bush got to appoint those lovely people on the court. And then they rammed through 3 under Trump after McConnell refused to seat or have hearings for Merrick Garland a year before Obama ended. So that stacked the courts against us,
Right.
and that's been their play all along.
Right.
And that is why we can't wake up from this nightmare just yet.
Right. That's right. That's absolutely right. What else do we have on our
So,
statistics here?
We have a really good number. Let's go with the biggest. Okay, 50%. Oh dear, 50% in North Carolina, and Sherry Beasley is up 9 points against
Wow.
Ted Budd.
Okay.
So that's good. It's we gotta pray, but with 50% in, she's leading. Hopefully, it's going to be the same dynamic where they're not counting. I don't know about North Carolina if they count the
I'm not
results.
sure.
But if they're like most other states and they don't count the results until after they come in, that probably looks really good for Democrats. So 50% in, she's up 53.6% to Ted Budd's 44.7. So that's another.
Has any races been called yet, or
No,
not yet?
not yet.
Okay.
Oh yes. Well, it looks like Alabama's been called.
Alabama's been called. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know what's going to happen
Okay.
in Alabama.
So we're still going. We have a couple of more statistics here.
Mm-hmm.
How many what's the percentage due to the inflation that people were concerned with? And we have here 20% said that they were severely concerned with inflation, 59% moderately concerned with inflation, and 20% they had no hardship at all. So pretty much it was in the medium status of people caring about inflation, which is normal, right? So you've got half the country, not that the whole country doesn't care about inflation, because I'm sure they do, but when it came to voting, what they were voting for, half the country felt that it was essential or important, right? With who or what they voted for.
Yeah, and I think those numbers were like an indication that it was a moderate pinch,
right?
The inflation,
right,
driving them to the polls.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think it would be a lot. I think Republicans would feel a lot better if it were a very hard pinch, and so I think those are good numbers for Democrats too. I mean, it's always my hope that as Americans. I mean, this is a big hope and maybe a stretch, but I always hope that people will look at the way geopolitics are working. Like the effects of COVID. That from 2 years ago, and our supply chains in China and how that sapped some of our economic, and impacted inflation and drove up inflation, and then Putin invaded Ukraine. I wish more Americans would think about that, because Republicans talk about inflation because they hope that it infuriates voters to vote for them,
right? And crime,
neither of which they have a solution for, but they just say, well, look, inflation, crime, vote for us, we'll imprison all the black people.
And not only do they not have a solution for crime, but it's a fact that there's been more crime or an uprising in crime in the red states than there have been in the blue states.
Exactly.
And in addition to that, the crime rates have always been mediocre to high. So in other words, okay, so you vote in a Republican, that crime rate is not going down.
No.
Okay, but why don't the people understand that? This is not the first time that the Republicans have called for high crime to try to show that the blue side is not doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
They've used this excuse
over and over.
over and over again, and crime doesn't change. Why do people not see that? That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. That's what gets to me. Why do people not see that it's a crock of bull, pretty much? That they're just using that just to intimidate and frighten you on who to vote for.
I think the answer to that question is the question. Why do people not see Nazis?
Yeah. That's a good point. Absolutely.
That's the technique that all fascism uses throughout history.
Yeah.
Everyone else is the scapegoat, and look over there. Do we all remember? I mean, I never sit too long watching a Trump speech, but do we remember way before January 6th when Trump was sworn in, that speech about how America is the death of the American dream and carnage and bloodshed is on the streets, and Obama and remember even George W. were sitting there going, what?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It's not actually.
We all was sitting there going that.
We all were.
That. And what is he talking about?
Yep.
And you know, since then he just simply doubled down on that.
And all of them with him.
And all of them with him. Yeah.
Let's look at
what you got.
Let's look at another race that. Ooh, this looks. I mean, okay.
Give it to me.
I mean, 13% in. That's not a whole lot, but so far, with both New Hampshire and Ohio, both reporting 13% in. New Hampshire is up for Dems 25 points.
Wow.
Maggie Hassan, who was one of the, we've been hearing, has been one of the most, it's neck and neck with Don Bolduc, the Republican, who's an election, who's a Trump sycophant. She is up 61% to his 36, with 13% of the vote in. And in Ohio, 13% in. Tim Ryan is up 14 points against J.D. Vance, which is just delicious news. I mean, as long as it keeps on that trend.
That one worries me a little bit because since Ohio is a red to purple state, he needs to be a little bit more than that. But we're doing okay.
Just as you said that,
we're doing okay.
Just as you said that, Esteban. 15% in Ohio right now. And the margin has shrunk slightly. Now, God damn it, 17% in now in Ohio, and the margin has slipped to 8 points ahead for.
All right, so we'll leave. We'll let that.
Okay. let that simmer in our hearts.
We'll let that simmer a little bit. Okay. I have a statistics here.
Please.
One of the poll questions that was asked was in regards to immigrants. Do they do more to help the country? And 53% of Americans said yes, and 39% said no. So what's the problem? What is the problem with folks dealing with immigrants? What's the problem? They help us. They provide an essential service for us, especially for jobs that you or I not only don't want to do, we not gonna do. What's the problem? Why are immigrants vilified so much, as if they're just here as freeloaders? But they're not. I mean, some of them are. But then you have regular Americans that live here and they're freeloaders too. But come on, 53%. That's more than half the country that believes that immigrants are essential to the United States. But there's so much stress and turmoil over them coming in and out. What say you? What say you, Lindsay? I want to hear from Lindsay, and then I'll get to you,
It's
Brian.
just- I think it's the Republicans. They're so animate about not giving any money to social services. So you just like when they first get here, they need help, and that's just like such a burden for them because they just don't. They're so cheap, and they don't want to give any money to anybody. They're selfish. So it's just
Did you hear that after the hurricane, um, there were a lot of requests from immigrants in other states to come down to Florida to help rebuild?
Oh, yeah.
How the hell do you do that?
Oh,
How do you demonize them and then call them you need them for their services?
One creepy thing I heard today actually is that even in New York, there's a company that is funding the housing, temporary housing for all the immigrants that are in New York now.
Yeah.
And that is a Texas company. That is the same company that works for DeSantis to get that runs the buses. So like that's all like kind of working with him, and I don't know why that company is. I need to like do more research on that company, but like I don't know why that they're connected, and I don't know why we're using them in New York.
They've got it. There's got to be a reason, though, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a big reason or a good reason, and a lot of times the reason has to do with money.
It's cheaper.
Somebody is being paid off for something.
Mm.
I mean, in my opinion, what say you, Brian?
I mean, we go back to that Nazi question, because again, the scapegoats are the people who actually do the work and who actually make America great, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, Pablo, I can take examples of my own. Like, my best friend in Seattle was a janitor from Mexico, started his own company, paid income taxes on his business in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, had a very successful janitorial company, and I worked for him for a bit. And the greatest guy, sacrificing just everything for his beautiful daughters who were American citizens. And the thing about this amazing man that I've unfortunately lost touch with, but is that, he's not going to see any of the benefits paying into those income taxes because
Right.
he's not
Right.
a legal citizen. But he so much believed, and still does because his daughters are here, they're probably in college now, so much believed in the American dream, unlike any of my white relatives, like most of them who take the American dream for granted and don't really give a shit, right?
Not just your relatives, everybody's relatives that take the American dream, the American period for granted.
And tragically, as we're seeing in some of these polls, too many Latin American Americans who are here legally, just want to cut the cord off of any other immigrants who are actually trying to flee. Let's say, for instance, in the
Right.
case of DeSantis and Abbott, those people coming in at the Texas border, many of them are fleeing evil socialist Maduro in Venezuela, right? And isn't it ironic that he's taking those people fleeing that scumbag? Abbott is using them, Abbott and DeSantis, using those people, right? Escaping their supposed enemy, right? Coming here for
You know what?
coming here, for political asylum, fleeing for their lives, hoping the best for their children, and then they're being used as pawns to go own the libs at Martha's Vineyard or
Right.
whatever. It's
It's ridiculous. Go ahead,
I
Lindsay.
bet you, like part of the reason for hating immigrants is that they're afraid they're going to vote Democrat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
exactly it.
absolutely.
That's
That,
exactly
that's not possibly. That's exactly
Mhm.
what it is.
Mhm.
Especially the demonization of how Republicans view immigrants from coming in. In other words, if you left it to Republicans, they wouldn't be here at all.
No.
So now that they're here and they get in, most likely they're the last people that they're going to vote for. But you would,
And I would hope so.
I
I
mean-
hope that's the case. But,
right?
But sometimes it's like it doesn't seem like that. Like sometimes people aren't
Right.
as aware of like
Right.
what's going on in the politics of this country at all. Like they're just like they only take in what they want to see, and they don't.
I
and
say
they're
it.
like, it's better from where it came from, or something. They think America's this amazing place that could do no wrong, but
Right.
they're wrong. It could
So
go
when I'm
bad.
looking at the TV and I'm arguing with the TV or myself, I just look. I'm like, idiots. What idiots? And I go back and I'm prancing back and forth. What the hell? Why do they think that? Idiots. But you know, it's just my opinion.
No, I've worked with people like that that are like
Mm.
just unaware. They have this like idea that this country is just amazing, and it's not a third world country. It's like nothing could happen here. Nothing bad could happen here really, if they work hard.
Well,
Yeah.
well. Let's talk about. I mean, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. You know,
Not to
and-
mention any names.
No, not to mention any names, but this is a person, a woman from Dominican Republic, who, you know, you had a hard time kind of talking to because she was very kind of, well, Trump is a good
Yeah,
businessman.
She wrote.
That was her
she
thing.
read Trump's book and she was sold on him.
Sold on
I'm
him.
like, it was a ghostwriter,
It wasn't even written by him, but you know, I mean, he's a businessman
He's a good businessman.
because he tells us he is. So,
And he'll make you think he wrote it.
Yeah.
But I mean, to your point, and this is something. I have a male relative who lives in a mansion in Georgia, and
7% of the vote in for Fetterman he's 71%.
Wait.
that just came in. Go
Wait.
ahead.
7% though. It's just
Oh, only 7%.
So 7% of the vote in Pennsylvania is in, and Fetterman is at 71%.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's good.
that's good. So that means he's gotten 71% of the 7%. That's actually very good. That's actually very good.
To finish my thought, though,
Sorry,
Esteban.
Brian.
No, honey, that's okay. But to finish my thought, I just wanted to say, like, a very rich male that I know in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
I saw who was building the guy's house, his mansion. Okay, yeah. Not everybody there had their green card. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so
I've seen that so many times.
I mean, but this is the hypocrisy of it.
Yep.
And I even said to this person, who I still talk to, because I'm very related to this person. But and I'm trying to convince him that he's on the wrong path, that he's actually a fascist, and his politics are very fascist. And I
I'm
tried
sure
to.
he disagrees with you
Well, he
on that.
disagrees with me because it doesn't
Right?
matter. No, because proof doesn't matter because he does not see Nazis. He just doesn't see them. So, but I say, dude, the people that built your house, you live in that nice house. They built it real good, didn't they? Yeah. Okay.
Did you
Were
get
they
to-
all legal American citizens?
Right.
And he goes, well, I don't know. And then
No,
it's
'cause
like,
you
well,
won't pay top dollar for the most expensive contractor or whatever. Like
Right,
just
you
like
wanna-
Trump.
you wanna
Right,
cut
right,
corners and then
right.
not pay them like Trump.
right. Which is the part that's where that stops with most other Americans. We want cheap labor,
Yep.
but we're gonna pay that cheap labor because at the end of the day, it's another person who's slave driving their balls,
Yep.
Yeah.
okay, to put together your project.
Yeah.
Right?
Your mansion or
Your
your
mansion.
business.
Slave is the key word right there.
Yep.
Right. And then we get, if it's our project, we get to stay, live, and sleep in that mansion
That they built.
and they get to go home to
Wait.
whatever
minute.
it is that
Wait a
they're
minute.
going home to.
Did you say slave? And why am I thinking White House? Who built that again?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the American project, and this is why, I attribute it to the dawn of jazz. I don't even attribute it to the end of the Civil War. I attribute it to the dawn of jazz. Ever since jazz made
Yeah.
America a culture that has advanced and expanded democracy. It's gotten a whole lot better for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
We
Absolutely.
have arts to offer the world. It makes your life a lot happier than just the doomsday and the grind of
Right.
everyday
of
life.
making
Yeah.
making massa
Making your dollar.
happy. You know, making that sick rapist who you have to, you know, who's your slave driver, making him happy. Like,
Right.
what? And that's the American dream for some of these people that, let's just say, probably would be happier as corpses.
And that's true.
Oops.
And that's true.
Sorry.
Let's share some
Good
tweets.
news.
Let's share a tweet or two
Yes.
with the audience. President Obama remains the best chief campaigner of our generation.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Would you agree, Brian and Lindsay?
I mean, I think somebody
Yes.
said it today. Like his speeches. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't. You came home, and my eyes were just caked over with tears watching
You
it.
know, he should get like a Grammy or something.
I mean,
I
think he's got one of those. I think he's got it. But I mean, his
No,
somebody's
he's like a filmmaker or something.
Now-
the way he, you know, he's like I don't want to say an actor, but he can bring a tear to your eye because he is just so like he sounds so genuine, and it just
and he
and
is.
everybody misses him every single
Oh my
time.
God!
Yeah.
Because Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like
I
Obama
know.
was like 40 years ago.
Yeah,
I-
right. After what we've been through with Trump, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like post-traumatic stress
Jesus.
therapy for the
Totally,
soul.
totally. What about the next tweet? Okay.
Okay.
So you know how the Republicans are always calling for fraud, right? Calling for fraud in the elections, calling for fraud everywhere.
Yep.
So there was an article today from a Putin ally
Oh, great.
who basically came out and admitted we have interfered.
Yep.
We are interfering,
Yep.
and we will continue to interfere.
Oh.
And this is from a Russian billionaire.
How great.
Um,
I mean, they're just putting it out there for everyone, aren't they? It's kind of like, hey,
right,
like
right.
it's kind of like.
But the thing is that the Republicans choose to ignore that.
No. If Esteban, they don't ignore it.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
hold on a
yeah,
minute,
yeah.
because I do video editing, and I've been watching way too much. The
Yes.
the Goebbels
Yes.
of the 21st century, Tucker Carlson, and pretty much every segment he is defending Russia.
Yeah.
And he has said, like,
Yeah.
what did he say? And why shouldn't the quote is, why shouldn't I support Russia, which I do, against Ukraine?
Yeah.
So he's literally telling the world, and including people that I'm related to that are very conservative who don't ever want to see, they do not see the Nazi. They don't want to see the connection between the Republican Party and the GOP, because the ironic thing, Esteban, is that many of these Republicans, and I've heard this from a friend of mine who works in Oklahoma, and he was there about a month into Putin's invasion in Ukraine, and he said that it was the weirdest thing because you have all these MAGA people that despise Putin, so they just don't.
Right.
They don't
right.
see the connection. They're like, yeah, we hate the genociding mass rapist Putin, but Trump's still our man, and because Papa, they never believed or never even like watched Mueller's testimony, never read anything about it, and
That's
the
true.
only information they're getting is from their echo chamber, Tucker Carlson, who's telling them, "Hey, Russia's not so bad." So,
That's true.
and there you go.
That's absolutely true. Next, we have the next tweet that we have.
Yeah.
It says here, I sure hope Republicans don't smear their ish all over the Capitol after they lose today.
that's a good one. She is one of the best.
Um,
Yeah.
I sure hope-
is there any truth in that?
they get like the military, sets up and lots of
borders and
spray
barriers
and,
and
porta potties,
but like also like cleaning solutions.
Right,
You just
right.
hose it down.
Right.
Hose it down.
I mean, it is just beyond incredible that these are the type of things that we have to worry about and we have to hope doesn't happen. I mean, in the United States, in the richest country in the world, and we have to worry about feces and crap and beating up the Capitol officers, and I mean,
there's no boundaries anymore.
none.
I mean,
None,
after like Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Oh my God.
I mean,
and which immediately.
What won't they do?
No, that's right. And the
after putting a hammer to an 82-year-old man, that's absolutely correct. What won't they do? Because the answer to me is nothing.
No. Immediately, the first thing they did, and I'm talking Fox News, and I'm talking Rupert Murdoch, I'm talking Putin, I'm talking. It's all the same. Also, Papa, if I can, I think we need to start like framing this menace, this political menace to democracy, as Russia, the GOP. It's the same. Trump, Putin, right? Like with the P, Trump, TRUMPUTIN. That's
Right.
what it is.
Right.
And I wish we could find a way. Maybe that's what we should say. It's the Trump,
like,
Putin.
It's like the MAGA people are inspired and getting, intel from Putin's people.
That's
so
exactly
they're acting out
Yeah.
like they want, Putin would want them to.
Yeah. And I think in a way they envy Putin.
Oh
yeah.
Because Putin is able to get away with all of that nonsense.
Wait. You're exactly right. Do you not remember? Do we not all remember? I mean, if you frame a picture of you shaking Kim Jong-il's hand as president and boast about writing love letters to him, let's remember what he said when he met Kim Jong-il, right? At that, whatever that was, that shit show. Trump said, "Wouldn't it be nice if I had?" And it's always couched as a joke.
He did.
Remember that?
He did. Well, it's always
joke.
Put as a joke.
I don't
but
mean it.
We're not stupid, so we know that whatever was put out there as a joke, there's some point of relevance to it that you really meant that, and if you can get away with it, you would. Right? How about this one? We have an Ohio man who kills his neighbor because he thought he was a Democrat.
I mean, if you just look closely into the eyes of that deliciously pasty, I mean, the guy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to I don't judge a book by.
Can
its
you
cover.
give any more adjectives?
I don't want to go too far down that gutter, Papa, because I know you like to keep this a respectable show. But
please.
I mean,
But no, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
No,
you can see
it.
The derangement. You can see the satanic.
Yeah.
I've never left my parents' basement.
But wait, is he cutting his face? I mean,
No. I think that was he probably got into a scuffle with the police and stuff, and that's probably what that was. That was
I'm an Iggy Pop fan. I like rock punk stars that cut their face and stuff, but that's not.
But the tweet says it's come to this. So it's come to stuff like this and to an 82-year-old man being hit over the head.
Yep.
So you've got to ask yourself, what's next? What's coming next in this crazy world of politics? You've got to ask yourself that question.
What I hope is that it all comes to a breaking point. I feel like we're getting there. But I'll tell you what, Papa. We're not going to get there without our own citizen-powered voices doing what you're doing, right? And doing what Natalie Jacoby's doing, and doing what all of the people in all these great Twitter spaces that we're a part of are doing, which is we have to kind of retake the means of production of media production, and do it ourselves.
Right.
Which, I mean, we have to do it because, guys, Peter Thiel's buddy owns CNN now. Like, that's why CNN over the past few months has changed from being
I heard.
left,
and
kind
I
of
don't
left
I don't
leaning,
like
and now,
it.
No. And now it's like it's Peter Thiel's guy. It's this is Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey's buddy, who owns CNN, which is why it's now, hey, we're just in the middle, but they're not in the middle. They're in the middle like Andrew Yang is in the middle. It's not in the middle. It's pretending to be in the middle, but actually being on the right, which is the tactic of fascism.
Go figure. But that scenario with CNN, that's another episode.
It is. Sorry, yeah.
Because there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
We have some breaking news in regards to, and this is not in regards to the polls, which check those out because I'm gonna ask you for those next.
Please.
But a judge in Luzerne County in Pennsylvania ordered polls in that county to stay open until 10 p.m. After voters reported some polling locations running out of paper for voting machines. Now, I heard about this earlier, and the topic of conversation on this was that the judge made the right decision. Mm-hmm. There were things wrong with the polling machines. It delayed voting by a couple of hours. By the way, this is a Republican district. Oh, wow. And so he said, no, that's not fair. They weren't able to vote. We can't close it at 8 o'clock. We have to open it back. We have to keep it open until 10. And I was hearing some of this on some of the liberal news channels that agreed with that.
Well, now see,
they one second, they said that was the right decision. It's not their fault, and they want their vote to be. But if it was in a Democratic county, I'm assuming the opposite side would have been screaming bloody murder. No, that's not the rules, and they gotta end at 8, and it's cheating. And come on, right? Come on.
You can't do rationality and civil discourse with people who are whose only way of being is gaslighting and lies. You can't. But see, this is what a liberal democracy is, right? We might be against that district and hope that they, in our hearts, we don't want them to vote. But because we're the bigger people, because we actually care about democracy, that shows you that.
Yeah. It's absolutely right. It's absolutely correct. The next tweet. Someone writes, what no matter what happens today, remember, indictment season starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I agree, right?
Absolutely.
At least we hope, right?
It better start tomorrow.
It's something. Okay.
Getting Trump in jail.
Yeah, that needs to happen. I mean, but come
immediately.
On. No, really. Yeah. And again,
there's another court day, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's got to answer by, what is it, Papa? Is it the 15th of November that Trump has to respond to his indictment, or his, what was it? They requested that he come speak.
Something like that.
And
I actually thought it was already passed.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because it was they timed it to be after the midterms.
Okay.
Everything's holding off
till the midterms, so that they can't say it's politically stoking the.
Okay. All right. I mean that makes sense, and that'll be here tomorrow anyway. Next, you said the 15th.
I mean, something like that.
Something like that.
It's before Thanksgiving, I think.
Well, let's see, because we don't even know what's going to happen with that either, especially if the House dissolves by the end of the year. We're not really sure.
Oh Jesus!
Do we have any updates?
Okay, we have updates here. I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at the. We've covered the Senate. Let's look at the House. Yeah. The U.S. House election results. So far, according to New York Times, we have 14 districts where Democrats lead in the estimates at this time, and only three districts thus far, where Republicans are leading. So that's kind of looks to be good news. I don't know what to make of that yet.
How many? 3? The crossover?
No, for the House. This is for the
for the
House,
House.
not the Senate.
Okay.
So we need 46 Democrats and 19 Republicans. So far, 21 Democrats have been. I guess it's been called for 21 Democrats and 41 Republicans thus far.
Ooh, so that means 21 Democrats have won.
Won.
And 41 Republicans have won. Okay, because I forget it is much different in the House because everyone is up for re-election.
Yes.
So you've got 435 or something like that seats. And so they're just going through the count, and as you get to the end of it, 200 and something against 200 and something, that will tell you who's going to be. Wow.
That's right, and I think that's why it's probably best that we don't even consider that stuff because on this show, like getting into the weeds of like all the 500 House races, it's not going to really help.
Right. Do you see anything there about the New York, the governor race in New York?
About New York, yeah.
Hang on. Let's.
Are you looking on the New York Times?
Yeah, I am. Okay, great question. Governors. DeSantis has won. 83% of the votes in. DeSantis is now.
That sucks.
Governor. I mean, we kind of.
We knew that.
Knew it.
So DeSantis has won governorship.
Mm-hmm.
What did well, they're still counting, I guess.
Kemp is up. Here's news. Kemp is up 6 points so far with 45% in Georgia. For governors in Kansas, Kelly, the Democrat, is up 19 points with 12% in.
For what?
For governor in Kansas. Democrat is doing well thus far.
You know, Kansas was the state that they overwhelmingly voted to keep the abortion within their constitution.
That's right. So maybe that's a result of maybe Kansas is changing. Please, God, please.
You're asking for too much.
Dorothy, she
right?
From there, dreams come true, you know.
Right? Oh, that's a good way of putting it. So I'm gonna put my Dorothy hat on.
Yeah. Maybe we should go
Get ready to fly over the rainbow.
Right?
Maybe we should go paint all the roads yellow and to remind them of where they came from. Whitmer is up 11 points in Michigan as governor. With 7% in so far. So, you know, it just sucks to see on this list like the only declared winner is
DeSantis.
Or as Trump called him, what's his nickname for him? DeSanctimonious is what he called him.
I when I first heard that, I thought that was a very good name for him, considering what he's called a lot of other people. Do you want to know what we're calling him online? Every time I refer to him, I call him Governor DeSatan.
DeSatan. I think that's a better one. I think it's a better one.
Oh no, Beto. 48%.
Who?
Beto.
Yeah?
Can't say his name.
Has?
48%. He's below. Two points below.
Abbott? So far.
So far.
Yeah, so far. And it's like 18% or something. I missed the whole.
Okay. So you're saying that Abbott has 52%.
Yes.
Wow.
Thus far.
This
Okay.
far.
Wait, Texas.
Where does Stacey?
Abbott is up 6 points, with only 29% in so far. You're right, Disco Lindsay. 46% to 52 for Abbott.
Okay.
But I mean, that could change. Please, God.
What's the percentile in?
29%. 29. But those were
Okay.
hey.
Again, not counting a mail-in ballots, right?
That is correct. And just as I left the house today watching MSNBC, they were out front and they said the line. I don't know where she was, but she said it was, very, very promising. A lot of young people, but I mean, we can't know. Oh, this number makes me excited. Shapiro with only 8% in, but up 60 points. So,
and which race is that again?
Shapiro.
It's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Oh, the governorship?
Yes. Josh
Okay.
Shapiro and Doug Mastriano, the psychotic election denier.
I'd like to think if one wins both of them.
But that
the
too.
problem is that split ticket in Georgia and Pennsylvania. We've heard the same thing. People voting for, because of the media assault, the disgusting media ableist assault on Fetterman, who's recovering from a stroke, but who has all the same principles as he always did, is actually a righteous guy. I think it was NBC News that went in there and had that interview with him and made everybody think, oh my God, this guy's never going to be able to do what it takes to be a senator because he had to read from a teleprompter. Oh, like everyone does. And then Dr.
Right.
Oz.
It's like half and half though. People that think it's cool, not cool, but relate to him.
Yep.
More.
Yep. I mean, but I did hear that there is that same phenomenon in Georgia where they're splitting their vote. Stacey Abrams losing to Kemp is what they're saying because all of these white, women in the suburbs like Warnock over Walker, but they like Kemp over Abrams.
Right.
I don't understand that.
I heard that too. I heard that that Kemp is. I heard that Kemp most likely will keep his seat, but a lot of people are going for Warnock over Walker.
Same situation in Pennsylvania with Mastriano, who's a psycho,
but
and
that would
Shapiro.
not necessarily mean of a split
Mhm.
ticket. That
Mhm.
would mean a lot of the people that voted for Kemp did not vote for Walker, right?
That's right. But so a lot of people, they're saying now. I think it's going to be a much closer. It's definitely going to be a much closer thing in Pennsylvania. That the split ticket issue there is not as big a factor, I think, as in Georgia, where
I get what you're saying.
The favorability for Kemp is not the favorability for Fetterman or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
And Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, so Stacey Abrams, it looks like is tragically not going to win, but maybe that will change. I mean, we can pray. But what I'm saying is, in Pennsylvania, Shapiro enjoys double digits over Mastriano, whereas Fetterman and Oz, according to all the polls lately, they're neck and neck. So,
Really?
unfortunately.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But again, you guys, the red washing of the polls, Papo. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's been talking about it. And who knows? These polls, I don't know where they're. I haven't gotten a call. I don't know about you guys. Have you gotten a call?
I say that
get a lot of
all
calls,
the
but I never
time.
answer my
Where the
phone.
hell do these polls
That's what I'm
come
saying.
from? Because
I mean-
no one's ever asked me a question.
Never. I've been around a long time
Yeah,
on the
you
planet.
could just be around with clipboards,
But-
somebody, or like the census.
Right, but even that, whether you're going to the supermarket, on the train, in the bank, where are these posters
I don't know.
Because I don't know of any. None of my people or family
Knows
of
of any.
any.
Me
So
either.
where are you getting
I don't
these
get it.
statistics
I don't
from?
get it,
It's
dude.
like anybody with a landline. Like you have to have a
Right.
landline. So like grandparents, like
Yeah.
old people.
Yeah.
I mean, and most of them now have cell phone or not, don't even have landlines. So I don't know where the hell they're getting this stuff, and that's why everybody's saying, who knows? I mean,
I was gonna say that it makes sense of why people say, "Oh, don't worry about the polls. Don't worry about the polls." But as well, don't worry about the polls because just because you're polling someone somewhere, what is the probability that that person or persons feel what we feel or side with what we side? What's that? And remember. This is the trouble we got into back in Hillary against Trump because of the polls.
That's right.
Right.
But I also think that the people were sabotaging it on purpose.
Oh, no. Excuse me. The people. Hold on. The Putin. Okay, the Putin people. Okay. No.
Yeah.
The
Along with Trump, right?
yeah. The WikiLeaks dropping.
Yeah.
What is it? Within a minute or two after the
Yeah.
Access Hollywood tape.
And the,
I think they were sent
Oh.
personal
Oh.
emails that said, "Say you're going for Hillary. Say you're going for Hillary."
Yeah.
So that it could, I think that's what happened.
Absolutely.
Because they not only did the posters get it wrong,
Mhm.
they got it horribly
Mhm.
wrong.
Yep.
How does that happen? That doesn't happen. And they tried to blame the posters to try to put them out of business. I mean, it was smart. It was smart to say that they don't know what they're doing, run them out of business. But I think that was a plan. Just like the whole thing was always a plan. Let's talk about this gal here.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I don't really have any words for her. What I can say is that I hope the gal on the left succeeds in governorship, because this lady, what the heck is her name? Carrie Lake. On the right is seriously mentally impaired. I mean, did you hear for the last 2 weeks she's been rigorously asked what would she concede if she lost, and she said she pretty much said no. She pretty much said, if I don't win, the election is rigged and fraudulent. I mean, what the hell?
They're all saying it now.
What? I mean,
No.
I get angry when I actually hear them say that. And they've been saying that for even from years past. Because aren't you taught when you're a child, you play that sport together, and there's got to be a winner, and there's got to be a loser. And if you want to win, but if you lose, you want to be a gracious loser, not a sore loser.
Now, I think the peak of irony about Carrie Lake is the tweet from 2016.
What tweet from 2016?
Her tweet from 2016. I just saw it maybe yesterday. But
can you paraphrase?
People are circulating it, and it is she's making fun of how fat Trump is.
Oh,
you see
I
that?
saw that.
So that's
I saw that when he won, she said something like,
"Obese."
Now we have the most obese person on the Republican.
Yep. So she is a shape-shifting, lying. Clearly, she's being paid to say whatever. And
clearly,
I mean, that's all it is. And and again, what does she have that the other woman doesn't have? The running against her. I don't even know the name of the woman running against her.
I know, me neither. I'm so sorry. I hope you win tonight, even though I don't remember your name.
No, because that psychopath, the psychopath has taken all the oxygen out of the room,
right?
Because what does she have?
Shock value.
No, not even that. It's not shock value. It's television experience. So she can speak in a very nice way to say that, no, I won't certify any elections that don't go my way. And then you have all of these, I don't know, are they just the Arizona, retirement community that's on so many pills that they can't think, or like, why would you, but to your point, Papa, why in
It's the
Christ's
sun
name?
the sun beating down on their heads that bakes their brains.
Right?
That's got to be a lot of sun then,
It's a
because
lot of
their
sun,
brains
not
are
very much
fried.
shade.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That girl, not their brains, her brain.
No, their brains for going, actually, let's see, I'm a senior citizen, I've been in America my whole life, I probably had a good, public education, and I'm hearing a candidate say that no matter what happens, she won't certify the results unless she wins. I just wonder what happens to people. I mean, it's not even, the other woman is white, so it can't even be like a race thing.
It might be a rich person thing. Somebody that's paid their way into like Ivy League school, or like Trump kind of thing. Or,
See, you just hit it, because that's exactly what I was going to say.
like the
It's a
Ivy
Trump
Leagues.
thing.
Yeah.
It is a Trump
Okay?
thing.
I believe that
Somebody
Trump
that-
went to all of them. They had a secret meeting and told
Yep.
all of them, this is
Yeah.
what you
How
do.
you're going to run
Yeah.
Okay?
campaigns.
This is how you're going to run. This is what you're going to deny. This is what you're going to
Trump
accept.
Academy.
Trump
Yeah.
Academy, right.
The Trump
For-
Academy of Politics.
right, political losers, because the Academy for regular American people didn't work out. I mean, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. But it's more of a shame that the people, the American people, feed right into it. Because as soon as I heard that, I put my head in my hand, and I'm like, is that for real? Like, okay, if I win, we're good, but if I lose, it's fraud. And I'm like, how come the people of Arizona, or whoever whatever state or county they come from, are not raising hell for that? Because that is so beyond ridiculous.
Papo, I believe there's a little bit of a historical lens here, and I think it's like this. I mean, I honestly think where the world got it wrong, and I'll just say this briefly, but I think the UN Charter in 1945, after we defeated Nazi Germany and the Axis powers, it should have been, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? And then the world should have gotten an education about how big lies overtake politics,
Yes.
right? Because I don't know about you, Papo, but my dad and my mom, I didn't get any, we never had discussions about how their parents, my grandparents, like, won the war against fascism. We never had that conversation. It was just like, America good, America won. Eat your Wheaties and go to school, and I don't know,
Right.
get rich somehow, and to the women, marry a rich man. That was the kind of But what I'm saying is, that's why, Papo, because we don't have an understanding of how this cancerous nightmare happens. So as it's happening in front of us, you know who did read Hitler's speeches and had a little book of Hitler's speeches by his bed, according to his ex-wife who just passed? Donald Trump. He's been studying that his whole life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and that's why we have to be the people to educate America about, if we want another Holocaust, which, by the way, if you're a white, rich, I don't know, maybe if you're a rich white male who hates everyone that's not a rich white male, maybe you'll be okay. But even the rich white males who hated everyone who wasn't a rich white male in Nazi Germany, Hitler turned on them in the end. No one is safe when we have a fascist takeover of government.
Right.
No one is. So,
Right.
anyway.
On both sides.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
We have news. I don't know if you
Let's
guys
give us some updates. Go ahead.
Well, does anyone want to guess who has won the Florida Senate race? You know. It ain't Val Demings, folks. Rubio has won with 91%.
Well, as soon as
the votes in.
DeSantis was declared the winner, it
Yep.
was totally obvious that Rubio is going to
Hideous.
yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Tragic. I am from Georgia and Florida, and I got out of Florida
Okay.
as quickly as I could for many reasons.
Well, that's 2 down.
Okay.
Although we those weren't in, we didn't think those were in our pockets anyway.
That's correct.
But okay, go ahead.
We got Warnock is running with 4 points ahead with 60% of the vote in. So that's
Again, don't worry about it. It's okay. In fact,
even if
we expected to go over him.
The Red Mirage.
Yes, because from today. The question is how much higher will Walker go over Warnock today versus all of the mail-in ballots.
That's
so
right.
It's okay. And of course, if he doesn't get over him today or get over him by a lot, they could very well declare no, I was going to say a winner.
Oh.
So for example, if by the end of the night Warnock has 46 and Walker has 51, get the hell out of here. Warnock is the winner. Why? You understand?
The Red Mirage.
He's only ahead of him by 5%. You've got to know there's more than 5% that's waiting for you to count tomorrow, right?
That's it. That's great.
Okay. What else you got, Brian?
22 points ahead for New Hampshire. Hassan, Maggie Hassan, which was, a very tight race. 16% of the votes are in. She's ahead 22 points. That's good for now. Fetterman is ahead 34 points with 14% in PA.
That's still very good.
That's still very good.
He's 34. No, you said he's 34%.
34
points ahead.
Okay, he's 66% to Oz, who's at 32%.
Okay,
so that's really good.
That's really good. And what's the percentage?
Josh Shapiro is also up 73. He's at 73%, and it's 11% in as well.
Brilliant. Fetterman is that is 14% in, 32 points ahead.
14% in, you said.
That's right.
I think
Okay.
It's 11%.
Okay, well,
No, 11% for
PA.
Yeah, for PA
the governorship.
Yeah, the governorship.
Okay.
We're watching different things. But I'm on New York Times, which I think is much more instant.
Thank you, New York Times.
Thank you.
We appreciate the guidance from the New York Times. Where are you at, Lindsay?
I'm on ABC News.
Thank you, ABC News.
Thank you, Disney.
They got Chris Christie on.
Oh, Chris Christie's on there?
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
Oh.
God, why do we even I wish I could erase him from my brain.
Chris oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about yeah.
No,
Okay.
she's talking about the pundits they have on. They have Chris Christie coming out to give his opinion, which is...
I was mixing it up with the guy that just lost against DeSantis.
Oh God,
Charlie Crist.
Charlie Crist.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Colorado. Good news. 22% of the votes in. Bennett is up 30 points.
Okay.
So I think that's safe.
Yeah, we kind of knew that was safe, but that's good.
That's good.
That's good. Any talk about the Arizona governorship?
Yes. Wait, hold on, guys. No, it's not. It's too early. Remember?
They're on the west side.
Yes.
Okay, got it. got it. Okay. What about okay, so you mentioned Georgia. Anything on Stacey Abrams and Kemp?
Do I have to? Kemp is up 3 points with 56% in. Now this is interesting.
That is very. Oh my God.
Kemp is at 51.
That is very interesting.
And a half.
And he's only 3 points ahead.
And Stacey is at 48. So it's neck and neck so far. Wow. That could be a good sign.
Good. And more than half of the votes are in. That's what it said, right?
That is what it says. Hold on a minute. Kemp 56% of the votes are in. Again, Kemp is at 52%. Stacey is at 48%. So that's better than I thought it would
That's
be.
better.
I mean,
I tell you one thing. What I also heard is that even if she does lose tonight, they predict that she will do much better than she did the first time. So I think either way, that's an encouraging because it just means that number one, her message is getting through to people, and it also means that more people are coming around to seeing that it's okay to have a black woman as governor. We're not gonna get hit by lightning. We're not gonna die. It's okay.
But you mean a really competent, brilliant person that makes insecure, uneducated white men feel tiny?
Yeah,
like they have a tiny little thingy inside. Down
go
there?
figure, right?
Yeah, because that's what she does.
She quote unquote emasculates.
Yes. Well, but you don't have to emasculate these men with micro penises because they're already emasculated. Okay, she doesn't have to do much. But you know what it is, Papo? It's that thing of it's unfortunately, I mean, let's hope that more of these suburban white women are letting go of their racism and recognizing that. But it is that thing of like, well, we can vote for one. Warnock, against the guy that held the gun to his wife's head until he was going to blow her brains out. We can vote for that, but two? I mean, can't vote for it,
And it's not just letting go of racism. I don't believe that the majority of Georgians are racists. I believe that they are fair-minded individuals. I've been to Georgia. I've been to rural areas, the suburb areas. Yes, you have your racist folks, but I do feel that a lot of them are fair-minded, and they just want to be able to coexist with each other, and not browbeat about who's black, who's this, who's that, and I also believe that a lot of Georgians, based on the two senators that were voted in 2 years ago, that they are ready for a change. Yeah. Okay, a black man, a Jewish man, they are ready for a change. And to see that in the last 2 years, Georgia's not burned down.
Yes.
With your Jew and your black.
Yeah. Well, Kanye would say they're one and the same. But never mind, let's move on to that. Now, hold on. The Jew and the black, because he's Jew, according to him, which means he can be anti-Semitic. Okay, so that's
another topic. Go ahead.
Which I don't ever want to discuss, because it makes me so furious. Guys, we're at... Oh! Whoa, hold on. Well, I don't know if I should report this. We're at 10% in New York's governor's race. And Hochul is ahead by 42 points so far, which is incredible.
That's incredible, and that's good. But I
Papa,
also
does that mean that, like, I just wonder, does that mean that they count? Does New York City get counted first?
I was just about to say, I also forgot. Just like California, they're 3 hours behind. New York's polls don't close until 9:00.
Oh shit! So they're already. Oh. Okay.
So they just closed. And that's why those results are just coming in right now.
Got it.
You had mentioned a little bit earlier about New Jersey. Anything on Jersey? Well, I don't think there was any real.
So safe.
Yeah.
Oh, they closed at like 8.
Yeah. Okay, right. You were saying that they were closing at 8, but you're right. They were safe, so we're not really worrying about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here, guys. 14% in Kansas for governor. Kelly, the Democrat, is ahead, 24 points, which is not, again, I'm just looking at that. Kansas, that's moved up, and Kelly is still strongly in the lead against Republican Derek Schmidt. Again, 14% of the vote in. Laura Kelly is at 61%, and her Republican challenger is at 37%. That's really good for Kansas. I really do think, Papo, your earlier insight there which is, I've heard elsewhere, is that abortion thing kind of was maybe a bellwether of what we might be seeing in some unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like, maybe all these women have watched
Right.
too much of The Handmaid's Tale and are going,
Right. It definitely was an encouraging hand to the rest of the women of that state and of the country. It told a lot of women, if those red Republican females that vote red all the time can switch based on having the right to choose for your own body, then what should that tell you for the rest of the world? Then you can do it too. We can do it too.
You know what? Maybe, I don't know. I just had this thought, so you can quash it if it's maybe social media, right? With all of these images that everyone I don't know about your family, but everyone in my family has seen of these women in Iran rising up against the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
Right? What if that is having an impact on American women who are going, well, wait a minute. They're rising up against a patriarchal fascist, regime, and
it could very well be.
And we, the women in America, are going to have our rights taken away.
We're afraid when it's like not half as scary as being there.
Not half as scary. Where half of the Congress of Iran just voted to kill all those women that they have arrested. So it's like maybe women here are seeing that. Well, shit. While we have freedom, I mean, that's my hope. Is that
Pennsylvania is at threat. And it seems like everybody's come out.
It really does. Speaking of Pennsylvania, we're at 17% in with the votes in. Fetterman is up 26 points so far, 61 to 36 against Oz. So that is great news.
Awesome.
The only thing that I hope about that, Papa, is that those, I mean, I don't see the county by county, but God, wouldn't it be delicious if we found out that a bunch of Republican counties were going for Fetterman? That would be so cool.
We'll find that out after the fact.
We will.
I mean, I doubt it, but we'll find that out after the fact, because I think that those Republican counties are going to follow suit, just like the Republican counties in Georgia. To mostly go for Walker just because of for party purposes. Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Allegheny. I'm looking at it county by county now. Allegheny, which is a big, 47% in. Yeah. Fetterman's up. Philadelphia, obviously, 85 points. But I don't know, Lindsay, you probably...
Scranton?
Scranton is not on here. Well, I mean, this is getting too in the weeds. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
But he was like people were like people were drawn to him. He's kind of like a working class, carries himself as a working class guy.
Right.
Well, that's just it. And before the stroke, that was the thing. The Republican Party was extremely worried about him because he had that appeal that no Democrats have with the white working class.
Yeah.
Yes. He has an appeal with the white working class. Like a lot of people that were voting Republican are going for him.
Exactly. So that's, let's hope that.
Let's hope that everybody, except for Val Demings, and Charlie Crist, let's hope that everyone maintains their post of the excellent standing that they are now.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up.
No, we're not. I thought we were going until all states were called
all night.
Like no, until a couple days from now. I brought a whole backpack of cocaine, Papa.
No, you did.
Are we not doing this? I was gonna.
Lindsay and I are going home. And hungry. And hungry. So, you can sit here with your bag of cocaine. No, I'm just joking.
No, we don't have any cocaine.
So what we figured, now that we've shared the surroundings of the election night with our audience members, now it's up to the candidates themselves to bring it on home and make us proud.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, there is a lot on the table that is going to concern all of us, directly and indirectly,
Mhm.
right? A lot that we need to worry about. One quick thing that I wanted to bring up, really quick, because I just
Yeah.
think it's really important.
Please.
But really quick, because we've been here almost an hour and a half.
Brilliant.
A tweet had went out. I put a tweet out
Yeah.
just the other day, and it was about religion.
Mm.
I am sick and tired of hearing the Republicans or evangelists or whoever use the Bible as a defense or a ploy to defend all of the horrible, mean, nasty conspiracies and lies that are being pushed. And the last one that and I retweeted this was there was a pastor or reverend or whatever that had said a prayer for Herschel Walker. And the prayer was in the tweet, and the prayer said something like, dear God, please make the conservatives vote for the right person, because they know what's best, and that right person is Walker. Please let them go after Walker, something like that. And I tweeted that this is ridiculous and sad. Does anybody else believe that this is blasphemy? Because that's what I really felt
absolutely.
in my heart.
Absolutely.
First of all, I am one of those people who believes and has been taught you don't mix church with state.
No.
Period.
No.
You do not mix church with state.
No, you don't.
Okay. On top of that, you do not use biblical scriptures or key points to make your point that has nothing to do with God.
No.
And has nothing to do with the Bible
Or scripture or the Sermon on the Mount or
Correct.
The Beatitudes. I mean, that's the whole thing, and that is you're exactly
Correct.
right. Pablo.
Correct. In
Yeah.
the meantime, the scriptures that they should be
Mhm.
focusing on: love thy neighbor, do not steal, thou must not lie.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Okay, they totally ignore, and these are supposed to be Christians. Now, one of the comments that was given to me said, "This is why I'm an atheist," and I said, "Exactly."
Mm-hmm.
That, because I used to think, how could you not believe in God? That's
Mhm.
ridiculous. There's creation all over,
Mhm.
all over. But it is normal and natural to not believe in God when you see a whole bunch of quote unquote God-fearing people running around town giving homage to a man, idolatry,
Yes.
okay, and defending an 82-year-old man
Mhm.
beaten in the head. Where's the love?
No,
Where's the love?
No. But this is why I distinguish, because I too am more and more a believer, because I because the battle between good and evil has become so starkly Manichaean, and those lines are so clear now. I mean, I wish it weren't as clear as it is. Like, I wish the Republican Party did have more of Liz Cheney types in it,
Right.
Even though I disagree with everything she voted for.
And we all disagree with everything she voted for. But the main thing that we don't disagree with is her ethics,
Yep.
her values,
Yep.
her rules.
Hey.
Okay?
Right.
Right?
They're using God as a weapon.
Yes.
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 Yeah, which is good if you're using Martin Luther King's God as a weapon of truth. But see, they're manipulating God into a weapon of lies, which is literally the antithesis. It is literal, as you said, Papo. That is blasphemy.
Yes.
If you're an actual believer, and
all of us smart individuals know that. So anyone who is on the edge of not believing in God is totally going to give up.
Yep.
Because they see the buffoons running around using God as a defense. It is astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and then you have these evangelical pastors, the leaders, that are giving credit to it. So it's okay to call yourself a Christian but hate your brother. The pastor is defending that. What is going on? I don't know.
It could be getting paid.
I don't know.
By-
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole-
That
story
could
with,
be it. Or getting something.
Yeah.
Or getting
'Cause
something.
A lot of times it's all about the money and like
Absolutely.
religion.
Absolutely.
It's a big money maker.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
not about the spirituality.
well, it's not. The again. Who is Mike Pence's hero? He named him several times in several speeches. Mike Pence's hero is
Who?
Martin Luther King.
No.
Did he really say
Yes,
that?
he went to a black church in Georgia or Alabama, I think.
It's like they taint
Can-
everything.
just do it.
Like, it's
Pull
like you can't have spirituality anymore without it being like embarrassing because it's like I don't want to be associated with these people. Like I don't want to be a spiritual person if it means that
Right.
I'm like living a lie.
Right.
You know?
Pull it up on YouTube. Type in Mike Pence, Martin Luther King Day or whatever, and you'll see him. And my question is, how in God's name are there that many,
Idiots.
black, congregants of a church that are going to sit there and go, oh yeah, the guy that's the vice president of the guy that has locked babies up in at the border, like, is telling us that Martin Luther King's his hero. So he's basically defecating on the entire legacy of Martin Luther King, and but I guess there's a camera on me, so I can stand behind him and get famous or something. What is driving anyway? I
These
can't.
people can
I
say
can't.
anything if they say it with a straight face. They can say
Yeah.
whatever lies
Yeah.
come out of their mouths
Yeah.
and people will believe it.
Yeah. Trump being numero uno.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this has been great.
We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it there. I welcome both of you back to continue the discussion, to start a new discussion. I thank you for your intellectualness and your opinions, and your input, and helping me out with the statistics and percentages of the day. As you know, election day is not over yet. It is sort of over for us at this moment, but we still have a lot more numbers to come in and races to call. So
And everybody keep
The nerves are still up.
keep praying to Martin Luther King's Jesus, okay? Not Pence's, not the Jesus that. Okay, you know what I'm saying.
not Pence's whatever.
Yes.
Micro penis.
Pence's micro. This has been amazing. I just want to thank you, Papo, for inviting us here. Next
Yes.
time, I will
Thank
have
you.
had more sleep, and we will have eaten before we come here, and we'll be a little more on. But this has been. I don't think I needed caffeine because
No, I don't think you did.
No,
Ryan.
I don't think he did.
You never really do,
he did
actually.
just well. You have that
Yeah.
natural energy.
Like, get into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
get in the ring.
Yeah.
Well, if you think this was good, wait till we come back because it's gonna be better.
I do I have to get a leash?
Hey, we don't want you bouncing off the walls. all right?
If you put a
Okay.
leash on me, Mike Pence might actually start liking this this YouTube show.
So I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you,
was really
Lindsay.
fun. Thank you.
Thank you as well. To all of my Estebanites, as I call everyone, we hope that you enjoyed our version of tonight's statistics of rolling with the pros, instead of giving you, basically giving you an alternative idea of to come and sit at our corner, the Caliente Corner. Now you can go back to your regular scheduled program and tune into there. We will be live again this Friday, so tune into that. Any comments or questions that you may have, don't forget you can go to at the Esteban Hour on any of the social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and you can leave your comments there. If you've got any stories that you'd like to share with us, or tell, you can send an email to the Esteban Hour, to info at theestebanhour.com. Okay? And with that, I bid everyone a good night. And as I always say, if you have a goal or an achievement that you've made today, or any achievement that you follow today, don't forget to say to yourself, this is how we do it. Good night.